Can you believe we're nearly at the end of 2018? This year has absolutely flown by. But with that brings me a slight problem, because in January, I need to make a decision on what I'm going to do with this car. The PCP is coming to an end, and well, I've got some options and I need to finally make that decision. I know I've been talking about it for months and you're probably fed up with hearing about it, but well, this is it now. This is decision time. Put up or shut up. So what I want to do today is talk through what those options are and what I'm thinking. And you know, by the end of the day, I think we'll have a final decision. So the car itself, originally, so 3.5 years ago, I took the PCP out. Now I put down a deposit. I think it was £1,000. 10,000 miles a year was what my contract was for, and it cost me £219 a month. So that's what I've been doing for the last 3.5 years. Now, in case you don't understand PCPs or you don't have them where you are, at the end of your contract, you've then got 3 options. Those options are, you can hand it back, pay no more. The only thing you have to be aware of is if you go over your mileage allocation at the end of that, you have to pay an amount per mile. More about that later on. The other option is that you can buy it from them. So you pay the outstanding balance on it and you just buy the car from them. And the third option is you effectively part exchange it for a new one. So the idea is that every 3-4 years, you go back, you use the equity left in your car or the payment they believe that's left in it against a new car. So you can, hopefully, you can always go back and get a slightly better car because you've got a little bit extra money to put down every time you go. That's the idea behind it. It doesn't always work like that, but that's the theory behind it. So before I get into the options that I've been sent, what I wanted to do is just briefly cover what this car's like and what it's been like over the last 3.5 years and the kind of the condition it's in now. So as a whole, I've been really impressed with this car. It is only a 24 kilowatt hour battery. And yes, I would like more range, but very rarely have I actually been wanting for that range. And it's only really when I've gone out of my way to make it an issue that it has become an issue. So range on the whole has been pretty good. I've done nearly 48,000 miles in this car now, which when you consider I've only got 10,000 miles a year, you can see that I've gone quite a bit over what I should have done. So it's, but you know, it's a bit above average mileage. The concern is the battery, and I'll talk about that also in a minute. Other issues, it's got a squeaky window. You may have seen that on a previous video. I've managed to get to a charger now, which, ooh, that is a really squeaky window. It seems to be all right at the moment. Now it's dry, it's not making any noise. It's obviously, it's just not quite aligned properly. That's only just happened in the last month probably. And the tyres, the rear tyres, they wear a little bit unevenly. Now I know there was an issue with some of the early models that were built in the Sunderland factory. They didn't wear properly, didn't wear evenly. There was an issue with the axle. Some of them got repaired under warranty. Some people didn't bother. They did other little fixes and tried to make it right. I didn't think my one should have it. I thought it finished in 2014 and they corrected it. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's not a major issue, but it is a bit of a pain, especially as I've been putting decent rubber on the back, well, all round, and it's wearing quite quickly, unevenly. So that perhaps needs looking at. But other than that, this car is in perfect condition. The kids like to throw food around and stuff in it, so it's a bit dirty, but it cleans up really well. And of course, the other issue was when Nissan dinked it for me. When it was in for the service, they knocked the front bumper, pulled it all out of alignment. They fixed all that, and as a result, I got the whole car super guarded inside and out. So yeah, I'm happy with that repair. It doesn't show any side effects. I can't see any issues with it whatsoever. So the car itself is very, very good. What I alluded to before is, for me, the biggest issue always when you're buying a second-hand electric vehicle is the battery and the battery health. So I think that's probably a perfect time for me just to pull over quickly, and we'll have a little look at what the battery state of health is like in this vehicle now. Right, you should see that on your screen now. What you're looking at, just at the top, it says battery cells. Just under that, there's all sorts of numbers and figures. You'll see it says SOH equals, state of health equals 91.4%. So that is the health of my battery as it stands right now at nearly 48,000 miles. So I've got no concern over that whatsoever. That for me shows that these batteries, they really do last. They're you shouldn't be worried about them. You shouldn't listen to all these people that say they need changing every 5 years. Clearly it doesn't. It's 3.5 years old and it's still over 90%. And I do nothing to look after this battery. This 20 to 80%, I've said it before, forget all that. I just charge it to 100% every day, and it doesn't matter where it is. I'll rapid charge, I'll do whatever I need to do. So don't worry about the state of your batteries. Now, the next thing I want to do is take you through the options that Nissan have sent me. So I'm not actually that far from my dad's house. So let's go and have a coffee with him and I'll take you through all the options and you can see exactly what I'm thinking. Hello? You home?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? All right. Yes, thank you.
Do you mind if I grab a coffee and use your kitchen?
Go for it.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you in a minute. Thank you. That was easy. So now we've got an idea about the PCP and the pros and cons of my particular car. What I wanted to do was actually get into the nitty-gritty of what Nissan have offered me and what sort of deals are available at the moment, and hopefully that will help me to make the decision that I need to make at the end of the month. So let's start off with Nissan offered me a finance deal on a brand new 40 kilowatt hour Nissan Leaf Tecna. So it's a like for like really for what I've got. It's just the new version, bigger battery. It would be ideal, to be honest, take away Rapid Gate. That's a story for another video, as it has been previously. But yeah, that would fit the bill. So what have they said? So the agreement they've sent me is a 49-month agreement, which would start with no deposit. So that's obviously the hook that they're trying to hook me in with, because I've already got the PCP with them. There'll be no deposit, but it'll be an initial payment of £504 a month, followed by, it says, 46 payments of £504 and a final payment of £504.17. At the end of that, a balloon payment of £8,792.86. Well, I've got to live month by month. Would that suit me, that sort of finance? No, not a chance. I can't afford that. That's more than double what I'm paying at the moment. There's no way on this earth that I can ever afford over £500 a month for a car. So we need to forget that. I need to start looking second hand. So as it stands at the moment, if I want to buy a second-hand 24 kilowatt hour Nissan Leaf, the Tecna model, 2015, exactly the same as mine, I'm finding them online for give or take about £11,000, just a little bit under. Similar mileage, everything the same as mine. So that's my ballpark figure. That's what I need to work off of. Ideally, I'd like something with a bigger battery. So if I look at the 30 kilowatt hour Leaf, then I'm looking at it's £12,000 and upwards really for similar mileage, similar year. So if I want to give my car back and buy one of those, what's that mean between me and Nissan? Well, I can just hand the car back. That's no problem. I've come to the end of my contract. The issue I've got is that I've gone over my mileage. Now, that wouldn't be an issue if I was buying a new car with them. They told me that would be fine. But the mileage that I had, that I was allowed to use was 10,000 miles a year. So 3.5 years, 35,000 miles. I've gone over 45,000 now. So it's going to cost me 10p a mile. I'm probably looking at giving them £1,000 just to take my car back. So I need to equate that in as well. So if I give it back and go and buy one of these other cars, I can add best part of £1,000 onto the bill of that just to hand mine back. So you can see where this is kind of angling now. So if I want to buy that car off of Nissan, my 24 kilowatt hour Leaf, what's that going to cost me? Well, the deals they've sent me, there's, three options really they've given me. The first is to buy it outright. And if I just want to buy the car off of them, pay the money, take it and never speak to them again, it would be £10,081.50. If I want to take another loan or hire purchase agreement with them, they've given me two options. The first is an option to take it over 36 months, and that would be £318.51. The second is to take it over 24 months, and that would work out at £458.52 a month. So both of those, I've got to be honest, whilst they're short periods of time that I could get it paid off quickly, I can't afford that a month. So that brings me back now to looking at buying my one, just over £10,000. If I was to take a personal loan out for 5 years, it's going to cost me about £175 to £180 a month, which is significantly less than I'm paying at the moment on the PCP on it. So that would be a reduction in costs for me. I wouldn't have to worry about the £1,000 for the extra mileage. And £10,000 for my one, actually that's very competitive. That's what it looks like I would have to pay, and a little bit more if I wanted to give mine back and go and buy one elsewhere. So that's not a million miles away from where I need to be. Now, before I outstay my welcome here, I better go and have a coffee and a chat and a bit of a catch up. Once I've finished, I'm going to go home. I'm 99% sure of what I'm going to do already, but what I do when I get home, that decision will be made, and I'll talk you through what I think I'm going to do then. Home now, and you can probably see, where is it? There, little tree in the background. It's a miracle it's still standing today. We've got two little kittens and they seem to like to pull it all down when we go out and climb up in it. But yeah, it's still standing. So maybe they're getting the message after all. So decision time, what am I going to do? Well, I don't think it will be any great surprise to you. I'm going to keep my car. It just seems like the only option at the moment for what I can afford to pay monthly. Actually, this is going to reduce my monthly costs. It's a no-brainer. If I'm going to buy a new electric car, I need it to be a significant step on from where I am at the moment for a lot less money. And it's just not available at the moment. And that will come in time. The more cars that are made, the cheaper they're going to get. The market's stagnant at the moment. There's no point in forcing it. Yes, I might be able to stretch towards a 30 kilowatt hour Leaf, but I probably wouldn't get the Tecna, and I'd be paying more money, and I wouldn't really know a lot about the history. It's not a big enough jump for me to warrant paying that extra money. Once the 40 kilowatt hour vehicles, whether it's a Leaf, whether it's a Zoe, whatever it happens to be, once they come down to a similar sort of price that I'm looking at now, then I will change my my Mazda, my petrol car, for one of those, and then that will become our main car. That will have more than enough range for what I need to do. The Leaf that I've got at the moment will then become our second little runaround car. Sarah, my wife, she can use it to go backwards and forwards to work. It's a, I don't know, 12-mile round trip every day for her. So that thing could potentially go on for years. I've got, as I said before, no qualms about the battery or anything to do with that car. It's a lovely little car. It's very well made. And for a snip over £10,000, I'm going to take a 5-year loan out. It's going to cost me I think it's about £178 a month. So that's a saving of about £40 a month on what I'm paying on the PCP at the moment. So it would just work. And in the meantime, if something comes out in the next 2 years that I want to replace it with, it's no great shakes. I'm paying market value for that car, and I think that's going to remain the same. So I'm more than happy with that. So there you go. I've been banging on about it all year. What am I going to do? You're probably fed up to the back teeth. I promise I will mention it no more. That car is going to be mine. I'll buy it outright, and come January, I can do as many miles as I want on it and not have to worry about going over the mileage like I have been for the last 3.5 years and worrying what I'm going to do about it. It will be my car, finally. So that's it, and that kind of draws this year to an end. I will put another video out next week, but it will probably be a bit of maybe a look at the year as a whole and what we've got up to. But for now, thank you ever so much for watching. Hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight into what I'm thinking. Maybe you're in the same position. It'll be really interesting to hear from you, whether you have come to the end of your PCP, or you're thinking about maybe taking one out and your options, and where you sit with that. Are you thinking along similar lines to me, that perhaps it just needs a little bit more time before those 40 kilowatt hour vehicles become available for us to buy at a reasonable price? Stick something in the comments. I love hearing from you. I'll try and answer as many as I can. I know I don't always get round to all of them. It takes a long time to go through and try and answer, but I do honestly try and answer everything, and I am 100% I do read every single comment. So keep them coming. It's great. I love reading them. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. You take care.